You're currently listening to an Audio Technica At-lp60 stereo turntable. And now, you're currently listening to Sony's equivalent PSLX300 USB stereo turntable system playing a 45 RPM record. So, pretty much, what these two record players are an example of is a cheap record player around the $100 range, like right under $100. This one I believe was $89, and that one was like $100. And a thing about these two turntables is that they're actually the exact same turntable. And just to show you what I mean, this switch for size select, the 3 buttons there, right there, and the button there appear on that record player as well. The tone arm on these record players is the exact same part, and the only difference is the Audio Technica has a removable lid, and the cartridge has their logo on it. And of course it comes in a different case. And those are the only differences at all between these two turntables. Now, the real reason I have these turntables out here is because, one, I just got them. They're a pretty fun thing to use. And I also want to put in the fact that many people have been saying bad things about these turntables. And many of them are not at all true. Of course, I know one other YouTube channel has already done a video on this, but these turntables do contain counterweight, but it's not exactly the type of counterweight that most other turntables have. It has, in the back section there, a spring to balance out the weight instead of an actual counterweight like some of the higher end record players by this particular brand. And another thing that makes this turntable good is the mechanism does have an anti-skating mechanism. It's just not adjustable. That's why you don't see an adjustment for anti-skating back there. But I actually did test this earlier. So, of course I have this stylus protector on the stylus, so the stylus doesn't get damaged while I'm doing this. But you'll notice, as I spin the platter and have the tone arm on it, the tone arm does not tend to skate toward the middle. And the reason why this is good is because, of course, if your record is spinning, especially at 45 RPMs, just test that, still works, you're gonna experience, if your record player doesn't have this, the needle of the stylus tends to cling on the inside of the groove, and of course what that does is it'll tend to only play one side of the stereo, so that's why this is good. And of course I'm going to stop this before that stylus protector flies off or something. This is a very basic belt drive turntable, as you can see. It's driven by a belt. And as you can see by that gear there, these are both fully automatic turntables, meaning that if I press start, it's going to start playing. And of course, it'll start. Then if I go into the middle, it's going to stop. And that is the cool thing about these turntables. A variety of brands make these, of course, Audio-Technica and Sony, and the brands like Pioneer. I know Iowa made some in the 90s, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, TEC made these, and I'm pretty sure there's a few others. And what these are is these are using the same mechanism, and these mechanisms aren't made by any of the companies that they put these in. I forget the brand name, but I know it was mentioned before on YouTube. But one thing that's good about these turntables is they both have both 45 and 33 speeds, both sizes of 12-inch and 7-inch records, which the one bad thing about these record players is don't forget to switch it, or I can tell you what happens. If you forget to switch it, your stylus will hit the platter and make that noise, but really, really loud, and can also damage the stylus as well. And what you really want is to switch it to the 7 size, or on this record player 17, because this record player is for some reason measured in centimeters instead of inches. Then press start, and of course now the stylus is gonna hover over the record and drop on the actual record, and of course we're gonna hear the record again. There it goes. And same thing the opposite way as well. Probably gonna just play the middle of a song. Sort of like that. And again, if you're playing 30 centimeter in this case, or 12-inch in that case, you're gonna wanna flip it back up, and then you're gonna hear a more familiar song if you do it correctly. And plus, it won't start in the middle of a song. Another cool feature of the AT-LP60 that only comes with this one is it comes with this audio jack that you can plug into the back of, say, like this Bluetooth speaker. Then there's a switch on the back of this turntable that says phono, and you can switch it to line. And then what'll happen is it'll turn on a preamp, so the audio will now be coming out of this speaker, which I'm going to turn down just in case it's really loud. Switch it to 7-inch and 45 RPM and start. I'm just gonna hope. Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, it's all I wanna do, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, Chaka Khan. And what would you know? It works. Yeah, and of course, that speaker has a cool light show feature, but that's not part of the turntable, so a review is coming up on that Bluetooth speaker. So, if you're really wondering how good these turntables are and if I would recommend them for their price, I would say for all the features that they come with, yes. And even though the Sony holds the 45 adapter in and the lid closes better on the Sony, I would recommend the Audio Technica. And the reason why is, first of all, I'm actually not sure about the anti-skating on that one. Also, the lid is removable on this one, and it comes with more wires. And the other one is measured in centimeters, and this one would be a little bit more, less confusing, because it's measured in inches. And, of course, another thing that's good about it is, it's just a more popular turntable for some reason. I don't know if anything else about it is any better or worse. They both do have the preamp feature, just this one does have more chords. Just that one can't just plug into a phono. You don't have to plug it into a phono input is what that means. This one, it's true with that. This one, it's also true, but it actually has an aux jack, so you can plug it into pretty much any speaker that has one. So this ATLP60 does have more features. It also has an aux out. It's sort of a cord that you can extend the record player with, but I don't extend the RCA with, and that's what I was actually using to plug it into my receiver way up there. And if anybody doesn't know how to use that, I can show you. Right now you're looking at the cord that comes out of the record player. You can plug it into the aux adapter that would normally plug into the speaker. Then you can plug it into this and out another RCA, and then you can plug it into an RCA cable that you might have, and that can go out of a phono or line in into a phono or line in and put on the back of a receiver. And that's what I was using to stretch this turntable all the way to that receiver. So overall, that's why I do like the ATLP60 a little bit better, even with the flimsy lid. Is it just has more features. So that's my review on the Sony PSLX300 USB and the Audio Technica, I think is how you pronounce it, ATLP60, ATLP60 turntable. I almost called it the PSLX300 USB again. It's the ATLP60, even though they're the same turntable. So, pretty much, thanks for watching this review on this Audio Technica turntable and the Sony turntable, and see you next time.